Okay, fight fans, special guest friend to the room is joining us now, and this is a very important year. The president of the International Boxing Hall of Fame, our guy Ed Brophy.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's always great to be with you guys and talk boxing, and glad to be here, especially just before the big Hall of Fame Trilogy Induction weekend.
Listen, Ed, before we even get into how huge this is, 3 years, you know, I want you to just take me back. How has the last 2.5 years been with not being able to do what you normally do for so many years? I mean, did you get to a point where you were depressed, you were discouraged? Like, how have you spent these 2 years, last 2.5 years?
You know, never depressed, never discouraged. There's never been a dull moment. Always, you know, just keep on like boxers, keep on, you know, throwing punches and bob and weave and try to make it through it. And you know, we made it through the challenging times, and we were always busy. There always had to be fundraising going on, different things that we had to do without putting on events on site. A lot of challenges because of, you know, as we all know, during that COVID time, and even now, you try to order something back ordered, you try to make something else happen, you can't. Very challenging during the 2 years, even planning the weekend, very challenging because there's so many different things that are going on that create obstacles, more obstacles than ever before. 3 classes, of course, is a challenge, but it's more the time that we're in. When the world stopped, the ripple effect is still going on, and that causes, when you're trying to put on a big event, causes some obstacles. But we're a fighting town in Canastota, hometown of a couple world champions. I love boxing, so we've boxed our way through this, and we got a lot of great volunteers. We're going to put on a fantastic Hall of Fame induction weekend to reunite the boxing community and honor those classes that had to wait 2020 and 2021. And now, of course, when we announced the 2022 class in December, 3 classes, and it's going to be a great celebration of the sport of boxing.
I like that you labeled it a trilogy. I like that. Now, do you think that maybe the fans are going to get a little bit confused? Because I was listening to James Toney the other day, and he said this is the best class ever in the history of the Hall of Fame because we got Roy Jones, him, Floyd, and guys like Hopkins. Now, those are all 3 different classes. I don't even think he realizes that.
Well, you know, I think it's a natural. You know what? Everybody's been talking of the 3 classes. They kind of lump them all together because really they're all celebrating together. But during the induction weekend, of course, the induction ceremony will have it 2020, 2021, and 2022. But they're all they're all getting inducted this year. Yes, they have been a Hall of Famer since they were announced and the voting was done. But their celebration is all together, and whether it's a fan or the inductee themselves, they somewhat look at it as it's one large class. Yes, there's separation if you go by the detail, and we'll go by the detail on Induction Sunday, but it's a celebration of all 3 classes.
You know, Ed, I remember when we were up there in Canastota with you going through the memorabilia in the small building, you talked about working on a bigger building, a larger space for all that memorabilia for people to come through. Is that completed? Did you execute that, or you guys still working on that?
No, we're still working on it. You know, it's been a challenging, of course, when COVID hit, it really delayed a lot of plans. But so we have ideas how we can expand. We're needing to raise more dollars. There's a big shortfall during the last 2.5 years, and also other type of grants, you know, were difficult to get. So like everybody, we're regrouping, but our dreams are the same, our needs are the same, and we look forward to the next couple of 2-3 years to really make some nice things happen. And if we do that, I think we've accomplished a lot through all this time, even with the delay.
Has any boxer, any alumni, or just any boxer in general ever dropped like a 6-figure check on you guys?
You know, 6 figures is a pretty good size number. So, but you know, we've had different fighters that have been, you know, kind to Hall of Fame. They've also opened up doors for different maybe sponsors and like that. So everybody's played a part, whether it's the boxers, inductees, returning Hall of Famers, or
that's
alumni,
a no. These cheap boxers that make millions of dollars. That's what you're saying. That's a no.
Yeah. Well, you know, maybe along the way, somebody that's in the big mega fight with a lot of dollars, you know, if they love the sport of boxing and and want to help the Hall of Fame, we're always more than welcome.
I just don't think they just don't realize that they fight their whole careers to be a part of it, but they don't realize it's us that keeps it going. And they're just happy to be called for that day when it's their turn, but they probably go their whole career without donating once.
Yeah, well, boxing is a rough, tough sport. Some make a lot of money, and some make average amount, and some don't make much at all. But there are some big paydays out there, and maybe along the way, as time moves along, somebody be very generous.
Well, listen, this is a heavy class. You called it the Trilogy. A lot of huge names. Has every fighter that's being inducted this year, has he or she confirmed that they will be in attendance? Are we going to have a full house with all those inductees?
Well, right now we're looking at a full house.
Wow.
We've got a lot of the plane reservations done. We've had from early on, the last so many months, and then even prior to that. Of course, the prior ones had to be canceled and redone. But we're looking at, the three classes. Right now we're looking at a full class. Although, Vitaly Klitschko is in, a middle of a war. So that doesn't look to appear to be possible, because he's fighting for his homeland, and we all feel for Ukraine. We're supporting them here. But everyone else, we believe we got a full turnout, and that's going to be amazing to have a full turnout of three classes. Other than Vladimir, as I said, Vitaly, of course, was elected in a few years ago. Vladimir would be the this previous year before this 2022 class, 2021. So, we will have his spirit with us, and we'll be paying tribute to Ukraine during the induction weekend. And but it's going to be a great turnout. We're expecting everyone of all three classes to be here. They're all excited, and they're all planning to be here, and they got their families by large numbers coming in. It's very interesting. Everybody's bringing in the uncle, the cousin, the mother, the daughter,
it's a big deal. It's a big deal to be a part of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Listen, you guys talked about big paydays. One of the guys that's being inducted has made more money than anybody in boxing, and I'm talking about Floyd Money Mayweather. Do you need us to, talk to him and say, hey, you better cough up a little bit more bread, man, for the Hall of Fame, man, because we're very influential, and I can convince people to do some stuff.
I don't think we're that influential.
we always tell people to wear the Box Hall of Fame hat, and to spread the good word, to support the Hall of Fame, and of course, the more times it's mentioned, the more often somebody's thinking about it, and you never know. Sometimes a nice, kind gift comes, but our part is to pay tribute to the inductee, to focus on that, and if somebody feels that they're in position to help out, to help preserve boxing history, just like alumni of colleges or whatever it might be, it's nice to have alumni or somebody inducted to see the value of the Hall of Fame. And if somebody's in position to kind of help out, of course, the Hall of Fame is always here to accept, to show growth and keep on preserving boxing history.
Nice. I'm talking all of this, and I probably only donated one time, besides going up there and buying memorabilia as well, though.
And that's a great way to support. Buying one time, buying gifts, buying a ticket, buying a raffle. Everybody's played a part, and we appreciate both of you playing your part over the years.
Thank you.
Out of all of these great men and women that are being inducted this year from the 3 years, which is your favorite fighter? Like, is there somebody you're most excited about seeing up there, and calling his or her name?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I get asked a lot, maybe who's my favorite fighter overall, or when.
No, but I'm talking about this trilogy.
Yeah, but this, I would say this. I think they're all outstanding, great careers, great people, but I would say that it's a historic year because of the first females are going into the Hall of Fame, and so because of the historic of that, there's something additionally special to the weekend, and your eyes have to focus on it. The International Boxing Hall of Fame inducted the first female boxers of the now three classes into the Hall of Fame. So it's going to be very rewarding and very exciting to see the smiles on their faces, to see when they get their Hall of Fame ring, to see them deliver their speeches, and see them intermingling with all the fans and the other inductees. So I wouldn't say that, I can pick one I think they're all wonderful. But there's something special about this historic year of the first female boxers going into Hall of Fame. So I'm looking forward to see that interaction and that excitement. It's going to create just an additional magic to the weekend that's always already magical. And of course, all the boxers, the non-participants, the observers, the journalists, all the different categories are going to be excited. So we're looking forward. The Village of Canastota putting on this induction trilogy. We have over 200 volunteers, many community organizations that have been working on it the last several years, even in the delay. And of course, coming on very strong in the last 6 months as the COVID numbers were going down and everybody's planning to come to Canastota and make this happen. And it's going to be a great celebration. And we're just so excited that the Village of Canastota can honor boxing in the way that boxing deserves. And it's coming up very soon. We're looking forward for Dazn to be here covering it because they're a great audience that you have. And the two of you are going to be just, so great and overwhelmed by the fans that love your program. So be ready to sign some autographs because fans love the program and love the two of you. So we're excited to have it all set up ready.
We appreciate that.
You know what? Something I always wanted to know. Can it be possible that, let's say, a fighter like an Andre Ward or Roy Jones Jr., would it be possible for them to be inducted twice as a boxer and a journalist or a broadcaster or something like that? Is that even possible?
Great question. It's never happened. It's not that it's been planned in any way like that, because once somebody's an inductee, they perhaps have excelled then in another area. And some of our inductees have already excelled in 2 or 3 different areas, but they had to fit a category to be elected that they were most known for and achieved the most in that particular category. And as a inductee goes onward into the career, they again may go in different areas and excel. But it's a election that one is elected in one time. Now it'll be added to their bio and added to their information. So history will show what they did as a Hall of Famer. But you're elected in one time, and their achievements will always be added to their election into the Hall of Fame.
Ed, before we get out of here, I want to make this clear. So we will have a parade, that typical, Hall of Fame parade. Is that on a Sunday, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, that's Sunday. That's Sunday prior to the induction ceremony. It'll be at 12 noon through the streets of Canastota. There'll be over 20 marching bands, which is fantastic, and all the cars with all the inductees, and it's going to be special with all the media, a small blue collar community, a big parade, and all the inductees coming down their parade route for the sport of boxing. They're working on getting all the convertible cars all waxed up now, and good. Who's lined up and who's going to be in what car, and all the marching bands confirmed. So it's going to be a great, great parade. The tradition that Canastota has always had to have the Parade of Champions during the Hall of Fame weekend. So without missing a beat, really, the induction weekend has the same concept, the magic. The museum grounds are going to be busy all weekend long with ringside lectures and celebrity appearances and a lot of fun. And then, of course, you got the Friday night fights at Turning Stone Casino, the Banquet of Champions at Turning Stone Casino. A lot of things are happening at Turning Stone Casino, only 10 minutes up the road, which is ideal. Boxing and casinos have always been a marriage. Turning Stone Casino and the Boxing Hall of Fame has always had a great relationship. And this weekend is really going to be a magical weekend for the inductees and for the fans. It's going to be all boxing, and a lot of magic in the air. And if you love boxing, this is the place to be. And there's still time to make plans to be in Canastota on June 9th through the 12th to celebrate the great sport of boxing and honor those who've excelled in the sport of boxing.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, me, I have to stay away from the blackjack tables in the casino. I can stay there for accommodations, but I'll stay away from the blackjack table. But Josh, if you're listening, Josh, our producer, I don't know how you're going to get it done, but you better have a convertible for myself and Barack, because I want to swing through that parade, man. Listen, Ed, thanks for taking the time. As always, I'm so excited. I'm stoked for this. Can't wait to get up there to Canastota, man, and celebrate with you and all these inductees. Thank you, Ed.
Well, that's great. Looking forward to welcoming you. It's almost here.